Hi, I'm Ephraim Elliott, and you've just been placed on alert. Welcome to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Miss Dorothy Singleton, who is the lead organizer for the Rural Community Alliance. And she's coming to talk to us about a parental engagement conference.
That's correct.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Now, can you tell me what a parental engagement forum is?
Yes, parent engagement basically sort of speaks for itself. We know it traditionally as parent involvement.
Okay.
And so we said parent engagement because we were introduced to a definition by Karen Mapp from Harvard University. I'm saying the definition for parent involvement was doing it for, and parent engagement is doing it with.
Okay.
And so so the Parent Engagement Summit, what we wanting parents to understand how important it is that they participate not only in their children's education, but participate in the school system and in the state in making decisions about education.
Well, why is it that our rural communities or our communities even need a parental engagement forum?
In a lot of our work and in several studies, one of the areas when we're talking about how to make education better in Arkansas, one of the things that areas of opportunity was the lack of parental involvement. There is some, but we're talking about moving it up to another level. It is paramount that that we be more involved in our children's education, especially in Jefferson County.
So, but I guess my question is why? I mean, I understand that it is very important to have that connection between school district and parents, because they help enforce what the school district is trying to help move the school district forward. But to someone who may not really understand the process or why should they get involved in their children's education? The school does it, right?
Yes, but parents are first teachers.
Right.
And being a first teacher doesn't stop just because your child enters the building.
Okay.
Understanding exactly what your child should know and being able to support them as they are learning that, and also support the school and the teacher on teaching them that. You're still first teacher.
Okay.
You may not be the long-term, the 8-hour teacher, but you are still first teacher.
And when you say first teacher, you also have a responsibility within there to work with the core group.
Exactly.
So the kid is getting everything that they need, because after they've been educated at school, they need to come home.
Right.
And that needs to be reinforced,
exactly.
what they learn.
Exactly. It is described basically as a three-legged stool. School, parent, and community. All should be involved in making sure that the child get everything that they need to advance in education, to have a quality education.
Now, is that something new that the state is actually doing, or has the state actually been doing that for years? Because I know like you said, it was called parental involvement at first.
Yes.
Now it's parental engagement.
Yes.
So what has happened in that transition to whereas the school system is saying, look, we need your input. We want your input.
Right.
We want to bring everybody together to make a better student.
A lot have happened. We are now globally competitive in education.
Yes.
Okay, that is the big
Exactly.
thing. The other thing is that there is a transition in how students are being measured.
Yes.
And that is changing from No Child Left Behind to Common Core standards.
Well, I'm glad you said No Child Left Behind. So explain to me what's the difference in reference to No Child Left Behind and their process to the process we are now, because 5 or 8 years or 10 years ago,
Right.
No Child Left Behind was supposed to be the catalyst to all. What's the difference now?
Because there was so much, I guess the correct word is pressure, for the children to score a certain score on a standardized test. It became, the process just sort of became to the point of teaching to the test.
Okay.
And in teaching to the test, you spend so much time teaching the child how to pass the test until the basic knowledge or the things that a child need to know in order to be globally competitive kind of got lost in the shuffle.
So teaching to the test is not a good thing. I mean, some people would say teaching to the test is a good thing because they're teaching you to pass or to be productive at the test. So, I mean, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It was I won't give it a good or a bad. I want to say that it was
Different.
Not getting
The job done.
Not getting us where we want to go,
Okay.
to be globally competitive. What actually was happening is that our children were taking the test, some of them not even faring very well on it. And then when the test is over, what you learn on how to pass the test kind of fizzle also.
Right.
And so I personally as a parent, as a grandmother, I like Common Core standards.
Okay.
And I like Common Core standards in the sense that each year you build on what you learned from the year before. And in so many different areas, and in math and in literature and all of your studies, you build on what you've learned from the year before. It also makes it easy for me as a parent to look at my child and say, okay, if you're in the first grade, this is what you should know. And if you're in the third grade, this is what you should know. And if my child have a challenge in any of those areas, then I'll know as a parent on where they need help, and then I get in the process of seeking them the help on what they need in those particular areas.
Okay. Well, I think that's great, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Common Core when we come back. We got to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll speak more about the Common Core process.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Anthony Fernando, a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm also a graduate of UAPB. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Science in Aquaculture Fisheries program. Thanks to my mentor, Dr. Eggleton, I'm acquiring unique skills needed for future employment.
Since coming to University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, Tony has been involved in a wide range of undergraduate research. Some of this research he plans to publish later this year. UAPB prepares its students for these types of opportunities every day.
UAPB is preparing me.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 260.
That's how many runs were walked in with the bases loaded last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's the number of kids who witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
Not a good stat.
No, it's not, but that can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. You can visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. My guest again today is Miss Dorothy Singleton, who is lead organizer for Rural Community Alliance. And when we left, we were speaking about Common Core, the new thing in education.
Right, it's the new measuring tool.
The new measuring tool
Right,
in reference to it. Now, we had No Child Left Behind. Now we have Common Core.
Yes.
No Child Left Behind was supposed to move us into a new direction. Now, is Common Core going to help in that movement since we're no longer going to use No Child Left Behind?
My personal opinion is yes, it will help because of the fact that the way that it is being introduced is on a build of knowledge, not just a passing of a test.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, what you learn in kindergarten, you build on it in first grade and on and on and on. So there will, it also, you know, I need to add this, that it's sort of kind of just being introduced in Arkansas, you know, and so that to the in-depth of it, one of the reasons that we're having this summit is so that the parents in Jefferson County can get in on the ground floor
right.
and develop their knowledge of how Common Core standards work along with
right.
The Arkansas Department of Education, and as the Arkansas Department of Education introduces it, it will not become so big in the long run that, you know, it becomes overwhelming.
Right.
So if we get in on it now in the introductory stage and learn what should our children know from grade to grade and on, even if Common Core go away, we have still learned something very valuable, and the fact that we know where our children are academically.
Okay.
And we know, you know, we ourselves understand where they are in math, where they are in science, where they are in English, and in, you know, in all of those topics.
Right.
So it has some advantages, but there is parent engagement or parent involvement, no matter what method is being used in the state. It is very important that we are involved in our children's education, and I'm talking about the academic end of it.
Now, you mentioned the academic end of it, which is very crucial in our community. We have a high dropout rate.
Yes.
And with the installation of Common Core, opposed to our kids who are doing No Child Left Behind, do you see that Common Core is going to bring them up to par to whereas they can commingle No Child Left Behind, Common Core together and graduate, or will Common Core let them know how far they're behind, and will it add on to our dropout rate?
That is one of the reasons that we are having this parent summit. That decision is up to the student and up to the parent. You know, if you give up because, you know, you're challenged, then you're going to give up because you're challenged. But if there is a development of understanding from the three groups of people, the community, the parent, and the school, and everyone is wanting that child to succeed, no matter what testing methods that we have, the child will succeed because they have a support system. So that's the reason that we saying it over and over again. It is vital that parents are involved or engaged in their children's academic end of their education, and that's what this summit is about. Now, our topic of conversation at this summit is going to be Common Core standards, and it's going to be that because we want parents to understand it in its infancy stage, exactly what it is and how it works for the child.
Right.
So, like I said before, if you're involved, no matter what method they have in town, no matter what they bring in, you're going to get a better understanding of you know how it works for your child.
Okay, and I guess, and I don't want to say concern, but one of the things is our children don't have input in reference to what mechanisms that are put in place for them to be tested in reference to it. They don't have input in reference to that. And in some instances, parents don't. So whether it's Common Core, No Child Left Behind, those things that are introduced, the parent and the child are like what the second and the third to know. And these are measuring tools that the state itself is using to measure our education and our productivity in our community.
One of the things that, let me go back and say, at this summit, our keynote speaker will be Senator Joyce Elliott.
Okay, outstanding person.
Yes, and she is an educator, an advocate.
Yes. And
she's in the room when laws are made pertaining to our children's education.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things that our senator from right here in Pine Bluff has done, Stephanie Flowers, is written parent-friendly parent involvement legislation. So there is people and things in place so that parents can have an input on how their child is being measured or how these things work for their children.
So are we saying that we can legislate parenthood?
No, that's definitely not. No, that's not what I'm saying.
In reference to parental engagement and legislation, I want to, as a parent, parents today are probably doing as much as they possibly can with our economic crunch.
Yes.
Single motherhood,
yes.
Single fatherhood, working 2 and 3 jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and the parental engagement. I don't know if it's mandatory. I don't really know anything in reference to it, but what I can say is that from a legislative perspective, is it realistic to think that we can legislate parenthood? And before you
actually, what we can do
before
is,
you answer that,
okay.
we're going to have to go on break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you your opportunity to speak about that.
Okay.
We will be right back.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Latrice Smith. I'm a graduating senior here at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, majoring in computer science. At this point, I thought that I would be struggling to find a job, but thanks to my mentor, Dr. Jesse Walker, and Career Services, I was able to obtain a position as a service management specialist.
Latrice worked hard obtaining 3 internships while on campus. UAPB can help prepare students like Latrice for those same opportunities.
UAPB prepared me.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Okay.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it comes.
Oh, Mom!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Millions of people are affected by disaster in America. And we're right there, providing food. With more than 200 food banks, reaching communities all across America. Donate now for immediate relief and long-term recovery. Every dollar helps provide food for disaster victims. Help now at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. My guest today is Miss Dorothy Singleton, who is the lead organizer / person of a contact person for the Rural Community Alliance. I know she wears many hats, and she's very vocal and visible in this district. So before we left, we were talking about parental engagement. Right. We were talking about legislation in reference to it, and can that be legislated?
It can be made that the parents, it's user-friendly, and that was the purpose behind the legislation.
Okay.
It was to make it possible for parents to understand what was expected of them from the school district and even from the state. So Senator Stephanie Flowers wrote the parent involvement legislation, and one of the things that is before the legislation now is for the rules of parent involvement to be put in the student handbook.
Okay.
And for the parent to know what is expected of them at the beginning of the school year rather than,
towards the end.
Right.
Well,
right.
I guess my question is, again, in reference to legislating parenthood. If you put what's in the handbook about parental involvement, it's been my understanding that if it's a good parent, the parent is going to be involved as much as they possibly can. By legislating it or making it mandatory, do you think that people are, those who aren't good parents or who are good parents and bad parents, do you think that's going to allow them or make them move and step up and do what they're supposed to?
I think that if we make it clear, if we make it possible, if we, and I personally don't think that there is such thing as a good parent or a bad parent. I think that there is a involved parent and an uninvolved parent, or an informed parent or an uninformed parent. And our goal in this process is, while this is a summit, this is an ongoing process.
Okay.
And our goal in this process is, while we recognize that there are 3 groups of parents, as far as the school is concerned, the ones that go and volunteer and read to their children and is there to support them in everything. And then there's that one that go to the events and things of that nature.
Football, baseball games.
And they go to the parent night out and those kind of things. And then there's that one that come when there's a problem.
Right.
So what our goal is to get that 3rd tier parent, just give them the incentive and the encouragement and the what they need to move into the next category. And the parent that's at the top, that's just, your volunteer parent that's in the building but, doesn't have a lot of say. Our goal is for all parents to be informed. Like, that's why I said I like Common Core standards, because of the fact that if we can give them these documents that say, this is, your child is in the 1st grade, and this is at the end of the 1st grade, this is what we expect your child to be able to do. She'd be able to pronounce words and identify words and identify colors and identify shapes and identify numbers. If that's what we are expecting the child to be able to do at the end of kindergarten, then you know exactly what the expectations are. And if you're having a problem, that's why it says the 3-legged stool. You have the school, you have the parent, and you have the community. So if all 3 of these people are wanting the same thing for that child, it's not about if you are a good parent or if you're a bad parent. You go then from being an informed parent. Now, it is a willingness issue.
Right.
Exactly. It is definitely a willingness issue, but our goal here is to encourage parents to be willing to participate, to do these things, to do what's necessary so that your child will have the support system that they need to move from grade to grade.
Okay. So you're saying it's more of an incentive. It's not legislation that says if you don't, this is what, because once again, that just goes back to, as you said, an informed parent, an uninformed parent.
Exactly.
And mostly, I would just, from my perspective, I think some parents are uninformed because they have the stress of working, household, bills, all of that. It's not that they're bad parents, as you said. They're just uninformed because they have they're trying to deal with the necessities to get their kids, and they just don't have the information or the opportunity to go and be informed as they want to. So hopefully, as you're speaking about the legislation, it's more of an incentive for the parents.
Exactly.
To do. Right.
It's more information. It's make it a road for them to be able to go in and get that information. And let me say this too. I too was a single parent.
Right.
And it calls for a shift in priorities.
Yes.
Well, while I know that my children need, roof over their head and basic necessities, when I started to make decisions about, do you need trinkets and toys and things of this nature, and clothes and stuff like that, I had to put them and their education in the 2nd tier, on level of importance.
Right. And I think that our parents, especially our single moms, single dads, I think that they do a tremendous job of even surviving.
Exactly.
And anything that's going to help them to be more well informed is a great thing.
Exactly.
But I don't think that at any point the parents are saying, "No, I just don't want to do that." They just need an opportunity, like the Parent Summit,
right?
By giving them the information so that they can make well-informed decisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. And the summit is, like I said, just the beginning.
The beginning.
Right. It is the beginning.
Can you tell me when the summit is?
Yes, it is Saturday, April the 6th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right.
It's free.
Okay.
It's open to the public.
Okay.
And lunch will be served.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, and lunch is going to be prepared by Miss B at the Griderfield restaurant.
Oh, some good food.
Good food, good food, good food, yes. And we have door prizes. And as a matter of fact, we just picked up the flat screen TV.
Oh, so there are door prizes like flat screen TV.
Right.
Okay, now, how does somebody get in contact with you?
You can call me on my phone, 870-718-3836. If I don't answer you, I will definitely call you back, so leave me a detailed message. And or you can email me at Singleton at The New Rule, and THENEWRURAL.org.
Okay.
And you are a member of the Rural Community Alliance.
I am. Matter of fact, I got an award.
Yes, you sure did.
Or I don't want to say several years ago, a couple years ago.
Years ago.
But I will say, Parental Engagement Summit, April 6th.
Right.
Between 10 and 2 p.m.
Right, at the Pine Hill Missionary Baptist Church.
Pine Hill Missionary Baptist
in the Family
Church.
Life Center.
In the Family Life Center.
2101 Reeker Street.
Okay.
And our speaker for the lunchtime speaker for the day will be Senator Joyce Elliott, and she's an awesome speaker.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yes,
she is.
yes, and she's very versed on the topic.
Yes.
And just being in the room with her and hearing her speak is super.
Yeah.
And
she's
we have
educational guru.
Exactly. And we have breakout sessions, and this is not a thing where we want people to come in and talk to the parents. We want to hear from the parents.
Okay.
We want to hear what are those barriers, what are those things that keep you from being engaged in your child's education the way you would like to. What information do you need? And we will also be giving parents the refrigerated curriculums that has been developed by the National PTA.
Okay.
It's just a small breakdown of what your child should know in each grade level. And we'll also have information on where Arkansas is in the transition stage.
Parental Summit, April 6th, 10
a.m.
to 2. I just want to let you know you have just been placed on alert.
All right now. Thank you so much.